Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of the F1 2020 Driver Career Mode with Alpine, episode number 60 today for the Japanese Grand Prix of Season 4, round number 13. If you have of course missed any of the previous episodes, then I recommend you go and check them out, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel to see plenty of F1 2020 gameplay and also F1 2021 modded gameplay. The first of the two new liveries coming tomorrow as well. In the form of the McLaren and the AlphaTauri. There were a few issues, but I'll disclose them in tomorrow's video. But yes, back to today, Japan. We haven't had any success around Suzuka at all in this series. I don't know what it is. I've tried different setups. It just doesn't. I think it's the Alpine. To be honest, for those of you who are hanging around anyway, I'm going to let you into a little secret at the end of the video. So if you want to hang around and want to see a little bit of a revealer about where this series is going for season 5, then stay tuned. But anyway, moving through the calendar, we've got a aero upgrade come through. We've got some parts now, so some R&D points, excuse me, over 2,500, which is enough now, I think, for this major DRS maximum slot gap upgrade. That's going to not really help us at all, to be honest, but it's going to come in before the Japanese Grand Prix, and then it's going to open up the final section of the aero department. Whether or not we'll get through any more, but that will put us level with Racing Point on the aero side at least, providing they don't upgrade as well. We did have an invitational event around Baku in the Brawn car of all cars. So I know a certain YouTuber will of course be jealous. Nice car to drive around Azerbaijan as well. Not too understeery as you try and get with some of the F1 cars. You can see the placement. You can just, I think, a little bit squirmy on the rear end. I do have to say, but it's a nice car to drive. It's checkpoint challenge, very easy, and also that aero upgrade has come in, so that puts us ahead of Racing Point. We're now falling behind on the Sashi side, so we're going to put a minor weight reduction upgrade. We've only really got 3 of those upgrades to go. I'm sort of putting off that major weight redistribution upgrade, because the last time we had that upgrade on, the car felt like a banana through the corners. So hopefully a little bit more we can work. But obviously that's going to come in for the USA Grand Prix.
They've announced that the technical regulations are changing for next season. Now there's a risk a lot of our hard work could be undone if we're not careful. So let's figure out how to mitigate this. Drivers, take a look at the developments we have and let us know what you want to invest in protecting. Alright everyone, let's get on top of this.
I don't get how that cutscene has Carl in the in his Alpine as this career mode is now cursed with the rain. But anyway, I mean, as I predicted, it is going to be an engine reset on the engine and durability side. I'm not quite in the position to do anything about it just yet, so or maybe we won't do anything at all. We'll have to wait and see. Durability hasn't been an issue. Don't really care about our teammate, and for us the parts really aren't wearing that fast out anyway. In actual fact, we've caught up to Racing Point finally. In this career mode, the gaps are actually starting to close up. You can see the bottom 3 are also near each other as well, but we're nearer between McLaren and Racing Point. AlphaTauri only a little bit ahead, but that will probably be another major or ultimate upgrade. So that fight will be interesting to see how that progresses through the regulation change. But look at the rain in qualifying. Yes, it's a downforce, it's a washout, it's the full wet tyre, and of course you've guessed it. Where are we going to qualify? Yes, you've guessed it, last place. That's not going to be a joke. This is look, you can see the back end turning out there. Our fastest lap was the first one we ever did, 1:42.9, and it was half a second slower than Kvyat. I tried going faster, but we lost a whole load of time round turn 1 and into the S section. Again, this is not my favourite section of this track. We are fastest of all in sector 3, but through sectors 1 and 2 we're just so slow, and you can see that we're just losing so much time through the corners, over 3.5 seconds up. We went for another run at the end of the session, but we went off into Narnia and lost a bit of our front wing, so we decided to just retire. The best thing for that, really. So OCON is up in P9, probably where the car do. Both Ferraris outside the top 10, and the McLarens Stroll doing well there.
Bad luck out there today. Let's talk about it. The weather hasn't been ideal in qualifying. What's your take on it?
Well, I think that the game is broken in terms of wet weather, so there we go.
After the regulation changes were announced, was it all hands on deck for next year's car?
We'll still be focusing on this cars for a little bit. And she sighed at me. Oh well, let's go to the race.
Welcome along then to the magnificent Suzuka International Circuit, a stone's throw away from Issa Bay in the beautiful Japanese countryside. What surprises lie in wait for us today in the Japanese Grand Prix? A lap of this historic racetrack covers 3.6 miles, and it's the only time during the season that we race on a figure-of-8 racetrack. The drivers can expect some intense G-forces through the 18 corners on offer here as they experience some of the highest average apex speeds on the Formula One calendar. And keep an eye out for overtakes going into the final chicane. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. So let's chat about Daniel Kvyat. Looks like they've got a tough race in store today as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the field.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and Alexander Albon lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Magnussen, Bottas, Pierre Gasly, and Hamilton, Stroll, Sainz, Ocon, and George Russell, Norris, Vettel, Charles Leclerc, and Giovinazzi, Joe, Latifi, Nick de Vries, and Nobuharu Matsushita. A Renault and Daniel Kvyat completes the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Please, Jeff, just say something different. But anyway, I don't know if we can get points. We'll have to wait and see. 5 lights are out and away we go for the Japanese Grand Prix. It's a good start compared to both the Haas cars are slow there, and Zoe's like a mobile chicane going up there, trying to pinch the Williams to the left hand side, around the outside of both Ferraris maybe. Can we get the McLaren of Norris round the outside, side by side through the S sections? Yes, we can block him off and up into what I believe is P11. Now we're after George Russell in the Alfa Romeo, once again into Q3, or rather into the top 10, but hasn't failed to position. And we're going to double dive on there in the hairpin. The AI going way too slowly as they usually do. We're up into P9 ahead of our teammate as well, who as usual has had about the start of a French snail. Yes, has moved off the line, and you can see there Ocon really didn't want to give us any room there, but still we're going to start forcing them out and up into P9 as we're watching Russell now losing out to Sebastian Vettel. Maybe had to put a gamble with the wet weather. Russell put the wet weather setup, which is why he's on qualified higher up, but now is paying the prices. Lando Norris is starting to come back as well at Vettel. They go side by side through to turn 1, out into turn 2. Norris is ahead, but Vettel keeps his nose in, and Vettel's going to have it go all the way around the outside, which comes to the inside, and Vettel does keep the position, and now Norris has to go to the next lap. He's fighting with the clerk as well. Russell has been dropped as well as Zoe in the racing point, and Norris tries once again around the outside, but Vettel once again then turns to the outside the S and once again keeps P11. As those two are fighting, is Ocon now, we're going to squeeze him on the on the turn into Spoon Curve, and I'm sure OCON will not be happy with us about that. So we now move up ahead to down to 130R. Will OCON make a move there? No, he won't, as we move later on, another couple of laps later, and OCON is once again siving a move up through turn 1. Through the end of the first sector, we close the door hard shut in his face, and again the civil war between ourselves. I have left it no secret I've no love for my teammate in this career mode, because to be fair, he's been terrible this entire season. We're fighting for the top end, 6th, 7th, 8th place, and he's only scored 8 points this season. We'll see if we can get more today. 2.8 second stop. It's about average for the Alpine Career mode. Bearing in mind, for a second of that, they're probably going on strike. So out into P16, and a simple stop. Nobody else has already made a stop, so we've jumped to the end of the race now. Vettel got in front of OCON but he's pitted for hard tyres, which is why he wasn't able to catch up to us. Stroll and Sainz ahead couldn't really catch them. We were fastest in the final sector, but the first 2 sectors we just lost a lot of time, kept losing time to them. Especially Sainz. Stroll wasn't too much, only 5.5 seconds up the road, but that disadvantage after the first couple of laps really couldn't catch up to him, and we have to settle for only a lowly 9th place. But again, it would have been better had it not been raining in qualifying, and we do get driver of the day, having made up 11 positions, the majority, all of those on the first lap. So a little bit frustrating there that we couldn't really do much with the with anything else. But obviously Verstappen winning again, I mean, surely he's got round off this career mode now. AlphaTauri, Magnussen as well. That's Magnussen's podium puts him back in front of us, and I'm starting to wonder whether or not we can actually catch him. AlphaTauri, the 3rd best team on the grid, but we're still ahead of the 2 Ferraris as well.
So that was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours. You were cutting your way through the field during the race.
Well, we dive bombed everybody at turn 1 and also had a good power unit.
You're surpassing all expectations. Can anything or anyone stop you?
We got 9th today, I should point out. 9th.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for wasting mine. So yes, obviously the rivalry with Zoe has gone. I don't know who actually won that rivalry, because it doesn't tell me. It just disappeared. But anyway, we're soldiering on. Looking at the R&D, maybe I might be persuaded to do one more arrow upgrade, maybe. But I don't think the Sashi side. I'm thinking about that. Minor upgrade after that one comes in. I'm not really too keen on really doing the major weight redistribution upgrade, and the others are tyres and brakes, which are not really a thing in career mode. So we might just leave it until next season, really. Of course, now I'm gonna tell you, because you guys have stayed to the end and watched through the race, so thank you. I'm not going to be staying with Alpine for Season 5. We've done a season and a half with the team now. We haven't won a race at all. The last race we won was the USA Grand Prix back in Season 2. It's been that long. 2 seasons without a win isn't really acceptable. I think especially the fact we're coming to the back end of this series as well. I'm going to be looking to move a team at the front. I'm not going to name which team it is until we sign the contract, in case, because obviously I'm not that far ahead of my recording, so I don't know if I'm going to get the contract with the team, so I don't want to let people down and say I'm going to be signing for this team when I don't actually get the contract. So I'm going to keep that under wraps for now. Hopefully you understand that. But yes, USC is next. We need a good result. We haven't had a podium since Azerbaijan. It would be nice to get a podium there. Mexico is also an unknown in this career mode. We'll have to see what we can do there. And then Brazil, the final race for Alpine/Renault in this career mode, save of us. Whether we do a 6th season, Depends on the release date for F1 2021 at the moment. Of course, we're not going to find out for another month, maybe, we'll see. But yes, if you have enjoyed this video, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you use plenty more F1 2020 driver career mode as and when it comes out. Until the next video, I think it's time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.